start in a child's pose today. So coming down to that kneeling position and bring the knees nice and wide apart, toes to touch, and give my mat a bit of a spray to make sure I don't lose grip completely. And coming down to our child's pose. Stretching the arms all the way out. Give the hips a little bit of a wiggle potentially. Making sure the forehead is supported here. So whether that be by hands or by the mat. Take another couple of breaths here. And then walking the hands over to the right hand side. And then walking them over to the left. And then walking them back to center. And then sliding on up to all fours. From all fours, we'll take a little round of cat-cow here. So inhale, looking up. And then exhale, rounding through the spine. Let's take two more. Inhale, looking up. And then exhale to round through. Beautiful. Inhale to look up. And then exhale, rounding through. Coming back to center, take a little roll out through the shoulders. And then walking the hands slightly forward if that feels good. Tucking the toes under. Pushing back up to a down dog. Take a little pedal out here. Beautiful, coming back to center. Lift up to tiptoes and walk the feet all the way forward to meet the hands. Beautiful, once you arrive there, taking a little ragdoll, so bending the knees, let the belly fall down onto the thighs. Taking a little sway from side to side. Maybe a little nod of the head. Shake of the head. And then release the hands on down to the mat and rolling all the way on up to stand. Take a little roll out through the shoulders. Beautiful. Inhale, arms lift on up. And then exhale down through heart center. Let's keep the core engaged here. Inhale, Lift the arms on up, and then exhale, take a fold forward. Take another halfway lift here. Exhale, release the hands on down to the mat. Step the right leg back, drop that right knee down, and then inhale, lifting on up. Beautiful, sink those hips forward and down a little bit. Well, as much as you can. It might be a little bit tricky for the first round. If the hip flexors are tight, mine are feeling tight this morning. Take another breath or two here. And then from here, we're going to twist towards the front leg. And then straighten through the front leg. Lift that front arm up. So straighten the front leg. Lifting our right, in my case it's my right arm comes up and maybe reaching back. It's going to elongate right through that right hand side of the body. Beautiful. Exhale, windmill all the way down to the mat. Rebend the front knee and step that front foot back to all fours. Take a little round of cat-cow here. And coming back to center. Option here to lower on down to the mat or stay with another couple of rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, lifting on up to cobra. Pull the shoulders back. Exhale to lower. Tuck the toes under and we'll push back up to down dog. Beautiful, coming back to center. Keep the core engaged here. And then from here, inhale, lifting on up to tiptoes. However you get there, we're going to step our right foot forward. So give it a helping hand if you need. Or step it straight through and drop the back knee down. Inhale to lift on up. So we're going to do a lot of these lunges with our knee on the floor today, really getting into those hip flexors. Beautiful, take another breath or two here. And then exhale, bring the hands on down to the mat. And tuck the back toes. Stepping forward. Taking a rag doll here. And releasing any tension in the low back. I always find these rag doll positions really get into my low back. Beautiful, release the hands on down and rolling all the way up to stand. Take a little roll out of the shoulders when you get there. And then inhale, arms lift up, hands to heart. Beautiful, one more. Inhale, arms rise. And then exhale to fold. Take that halfway lift again. Exhale to fold. Plant the hands. Stepping back on the left leg this time, dropping that left knee down, and then inhale, lifting up into that low lunge. Really let the hips sink forward and down. That's it. Exhale, stretching towards that front leg. Beautiful. Inhale, lift that front arm up, straighten through the front leg. Elongate through the front of the body. Beautiful, really keep the hips pushing forward. Take one more breath here. Windmill the hands all the way down to the mat. Beautiful, stepping it back to all fours. Taking it straight to a high plank position on the knees here. And keep the core engaged, lower all the way down to the mat. Elbows graze the ribs. Inhale to cobra. And exhale to lower. Beautiful, let's take one more here. Inhale, cobra. Squeeze those shoulders back. And exhale, pushing back up to down dog. Take a little pedal out through the feet. Beautiful, take another breath or two here. Lifting up to tiptoes and stepping our left leg forward this time, however you get there. Give it that helping hand if you need, or step it straight through. And from here, drop the back knee down. Inhale, lifting. Hips sink forward and down. That's it, opening through the hip flexors. Try and tuck the tailbone under slightly here in this position. Keep a little bit of engagement through the glutes here to help with that. It's going to elongate even more through the hip flexors. Take another breath in here. And exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Tuck the back toes under and stepping it through and forward. Taking that halfway lift and folding. Inhale, lifting on all the way up and bringing the hands to heart center. Take another breath or two here. And then inhale, arms to lift on up. And then exhale to fold. Taking a halfway lift here. And fold. Stepping back on the right leg this time. Dropping that right knee down. Then inhale, lifting on up. Keep that little bit of engagement through the glutes here. And this time we're going to come into an open twist. So twisting around towards the back leg. Beautiful. See if that changes the stretch slightly. Inhale, let's reverse that again. So lifting up that, what is now your front arm, straightening out through the front leg. See if that changes the stretch. Beautiful. Exhale, windmill the hands all the way down to the mat and stepping on back. Let's take our high to low plank. You've got an option if you're feeling more energetic here. Lift the knees off the floor, high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Take your pick here. And exhale, back through to down dog. Beautiful, taking that stretch here, stationary down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Bend the knee open through the hip if that feels okay. And then bringing the knee through to the nose, stepping that right foot forward. Give it a helping hand if you need. This time we're going to come on up to crescent lunge. So right leg is forward, left leg back. So focus here in our crescent lunge on keeping the tailbone tucked under slightly and bending the back knee. The glutes engage here and see if you can feel a little bit of a stretch through the left hip flexor.
Oh, yes.
Good stuff. If you're feeling that stretch, that's exactly what we want. So one more breath in here. Exhale, hands coming on down to the mat, stepping it forward. Taking that halfway lift and fold. Beautiful. Inhale, lifting all the way up to stand. Hands to heart center. We're going to take that one more round on the second side. Inhale, lifting on up. Exhale to fold. Taking a halfway lift here. Exhale to fold. Plant the hands, stepping back on the left leg this time. We better go to the second side. Dropping that left knee down to the floor. Inhale, lifting on up. This time we take the open twist, so twisting towards the back leg, away from the front leg. And then inhale, lift, straighten the front leg, reverse that twist, front arm comes up. Beautiful. Keep the glutes engaged here for a little bit of stability. See if you feel a little bit of a stretch in that hip flexor again. Beautiful. Exhale, windmill all the way around to the mat and stepping it back. You've got an option once again here, coming up, lift the knees off the floor if that feels good. Shoulders away from ears here, core on wherever you are, and lower down to the mat. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, back through to down dog. Beautiful. Take another breath or two here. That's it. Inhale, lifting the left leg up this time. You can adjust the right foot. Bend the knee, open through the hip. And then bring that knee around. I'm going to step it through. Give it a helping hand if you need. And setting up for our crescent lunge, lifting on up. Once you lift on up, bring the arms up. Keep those glutes engaged. Hips stay facing forward. Tuck the tailbone under slightly. See if you can get that stretch through the hip flexor again. Take another breath or two here. And exhale, hands coming on down to the mat, stepping it forward. Take a halfway lift and fold. Inhale, lifting on all the way up, hands to heart center. Beautiful, nice work. Let's go inhale, arms to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, folding, plant the hands. This time stepping back on the right leg. Followed by the left. Lower on down. Inhale, up dog or cobra, take your pick. Exhale, back through to down dog. Really tilt the sit bones nice and high, or the hips high. And then inhale, lift to tiptoe, stepping the right foot forward here. Beautiful. Inhale, lifting on up. And then exhale, opening out, warrior two. Beautiful. We flip reverse. Come back to center. Pivot the toes around to the side of the mat. And then exhale. We take a wide-legged forward fold. Beautiful. And then from this wide-legged forward fold, planting the right hand down to the mat. And then inhale, lift the left arm up. See what that does to your hips. Changes the stretch slightly perhaps. Release that down, and then inhale, lifting on up, pivot the toes slightly. Exhale, sinking into our goddess pose. Settle in. Elbows come down. Hands might come down to the knees. Then take a little lean forward and twist to one side, and then twist to the other side. Little low back and hip stretch here. Twist again. Take a little hold and twist again to that second side. Release, coming on up. Pivot around to the front of the mat. Flip and reverse. Exhale, windmill all the way around to the mat. Stepping that foot forward. Take a halfway lift and fold. Inhale to lift. Hands to heart center. I'm going to do that on the second side. Inhale, arms to rise, and exhale to fold. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Plant the hands, stepping back. Both feet high to low. Inhale, and exhale. That's it. Take another breath or two here. Awesome. Inhale, lift that left leg up this time. Bend the knee, open through the hip if that feels good. And then bring the knee to nose, stepping it all the way through. Inhale, lifting up, crescent, and open out. Beautiful. Really stretch the arms out long. Flip and reverse. Come back to center, pivot the toes around, and then exhale, taking that wide-legged forward fold here. Hands come down to the mat. Beautiful. Planting our left hand down this time, and then inhale, lifting the right arm up, take that twist. Beautiful. Take another breath or two here. And then exhale, release that hand down to the mat. Inhale, lifting on up, hands might come to the hips. Pivot the heels in and sinking down into that goddess pose. Arms might come up, open through the chest perhaps. And then exhale, bring the hands down to the knees, sink the hips back. We take our little twist. Lift and twist to the other side. Inhale and twist. Nice work. Let's take one more. Inhale, coming back to center, lifting on up and pivot back around. Warrior two, flip reverse, windmill all the way to the mat. This time from here, we're going to step it forward, take a halfway lift and fold, stepping both legs back. And from here, sliding the right knee forward to the wrist, ankle to the opposite wrist, and coming into our pigeon pose. Beautiful. Folding forward if that's an option for you this morning. Take a little wiggle from side to side. I always sometimes like to rock my hips side to side a little bit here. See how that changes the stretch. And then pushing back into the hands. Maybe tuck the back toes under. We'll push back to our down dog. Sit, settling in a little bit. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Really engage the lats down the back of the body. Tilt the little tips of the elbows back towards the back of the room slightly. And then from here, lift to tiptoes. And bringing the left knee forward to the wrist, ankle to the opposite wrist, settling in for our pigeon pose on the other side. Sit from here, bring the hands back to the mat, coming on back up, sink the hips on down to the floor, stretch the legs out nice and long, and coming on all the way down to the mat. All the way to the back, draw the knees into the chest, and you've got an option here to take a happy baby, so grabbing the back of the knees, the ankles, or the sides of the feet, and really bringing the knees towards the armpits, opening out through the low back, maybe a little twist from side or sway from side to side, massage out through the low back. And bring the feet down to the floor. Little supine twist here just for a breath or two. And bring it to the other side. Drop the knees over to the other side. Obviously, if you've got a little bit longer here, you can come back to that supine twist and hold it for a little bit longer. Otherwise, coming back to center, stretching the legs out long. Letting the hands come to the mat. And taking a few deep breaths here to finish our practice. Then when you're ready, bring a little bit of movement back into the fingers and toes. Maybe stretch the arms out overhead. Stretch the toes out long, elongate the body as much as possible. And then maybe bend the knees, rolling over to your preferred side. And then coming on up to a comfortable seat. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll over. Bringing the hands to the heart center. Bringing the thumbs to the forehead, a little bow of the head. And thank you for joining me this morning.